it's alright. Get ready for the night of your life. Stars will shine so bright. They say we're dancing the stress away. Hey, hey. This beat gets underneath your feet. Right now, together we will meet. This place will blow your mind away. Hey, hey. Welcome to the club now. Gonna pump it up now. This is an emergency. Music is my galaxy. Welcome to the club now. Everybody's up now. We've got it going on until the break of dawn. Welcome to the club now. Gonna pump it up now. This is an emergency. Music is my galaxy. Welcome to the club now. Everybody's up now. We've got it going on until the break of dawn. So put the record on. So put on the thumb. Right now, standing here in line. Open up the door, Mr. Frankenstein, 'cause we're here to dance the night away. Hey, hey. Welcome to the club now, gonna pump it up now. This is an emergency, music is my galaxy. Welcome to the club now, everybody's up now. We've got it going on until the break of dawn. Welcome to the club now, gonna pump it up now. This is an emergency, music is my galaxy. Welcome to the club now, everybody's up now. We've got it going on until the break of dawn. So put the record on.
Sexy, come in and dance and check me body, the guy there, the girl there. Everybody young gonna rock the show. Operator, operator. I ain't happy for me to rub it up. We in the club, in the club. To the club now.
Jump.
Let me buy you a couple of rounds and I say what you thinking. Ain't the type of girl to get down, but I can party with you. And bring my girls out. Tell the bartender bring the ice. And let her know I'm on the time. I'm drunk on margaritas at the top. Tequila, me and my mama see. We go with the drink, we go out, you go talk tonight. Yeah, I got fire, we can all just go all the time. In the moonlight, I'm getting drunk and blowing up. In the moonlight, let's go, go, go.
Just shoot for the stars. If it feels right, aim for my heart. If you feel like it, take me away. Make it okay. I swear I'll behave. You wanted control, so we waited, put on a show. Now we're naked. They say I'm a kid. My ego is bad. I don't give a shit. And it goes like tell me about the tongue and I'll know you. Kiss me till you're drunk and I'll show you all the moves like Jagger. I've got them moves like Jagger. I've got them moves like Jagger. Jag, 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 drinking too much for sure. I got a hangover. Whoa, I got an empty cup. Pour me some more so I can go.